Deputy Catherine Murphy.
Thank you. If what occurred today was a film, it would be called Back to the Future. The problem is it's a sequel. I'd say the first one was made in 2002. It was a giveaway budget because there was a general election the following year. 2007 was sequel number 2, and we all know what happened there. And this is the third sequel. This is a budget that's all about the next general election. It's about making people feel good in February or early March. It's about the election. It's not about the next generation, and that's what this should be about. The budget, if you had looked at things, for example, in relation to primary education, 103 million would have made primary education free. Books, transport, the voluntary contribution would have all been covered. And the nightmare of the families trying to find the resources in July and August every year would be a thing of the past. It is about the cost of living for those families, and you can do things differently in a way that benefits society, that has a longer term benefit. The democratic programme in the Dáil states, and that was the first democratic programme in 1919 states, it shall be the first duty of the government of a republic to make provision for the physical, mental and spiritual well-being of the children, to secure that no child shall suffer hunger or cold from lack of food, clothing or shelter, but that all should be provided with the means and facilities requisite for the proper education and training as citizens of a free and Gaelic Ireland. And next year is a benchmark year. We mark 100 years since the Rising. It's not something that we should be just marking. It should be something that we're living up to. And we can predict at this point that there will be children homeless and their families will be homeless when we come to mark that rising next year. And this budget does not provide in any kind of a meaningful way to deal with that. It was 50 million allocated to the commemorations and there was 17 million allocated to homelessness. I think it was all on the one page as it was announced there today. And housing is costing us in real terms. It's costing in the stress to families that are facing with the uncertainty. It's costing in real terms this state because rents are rising, and you failed to deal with an initiative in relation to rent caps that would give some certainty even for the medium term. And it's also costing jobs because companies are not going to invest here, because the cost of living is too high, because we have created a crisis that some of us have been talking about for the last 3 years. I talked to a guard yesterday, and he's in mortgage difficulties, and we haven't even dealt with that. And he told me he was told to take some of the luxury items off his wages. He was told to drop his pension. He was told to drop his life cover. He was told to drop his critical care cover. Yet he's had to draw on that for months this year. That's called a luxury item for someone who's going out and putting his life on the line for us. And that's the kind of thing is happening. That's what the banks are doing to individual people who've got into distress. But we're framing this budget. With the backdrop of the fiscal compact, which the nonsensical rule will kick in next year, that no matter how much money we have, we will be forced into doing one thing with it, and that is paying back debt. We will not be allowed to invest in a real and meaningful way in terms of the demographic pressures that we're being put under, in terms of our growing population. We're not going to be able to invest in the infrastructure that we require to invest in because there has been a lag in the kind of investment that we need for a country that is growing. Things like public transport, things like housing, things like primary health care, that if we invested in it properly would change the way we deliver health in a way that is a healthy system rather than delivering for illness, if you like. I've got to say, I think this budget is a big disappointment because there was an opportunity there. And I believe that opportunity was squandered. And we look back on it and we'll be talking about the sequel. And unfortunately, we'll be putting in that sequel the budget of 2015-2016. Thank you.